Yeah, this article hasn't really aged well, has it? And because of that, I thought it'd be pretty fun to do a video going back and checking out the 15 reasons why Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon will be terrible. It's pretty funny too, because as we've gotten more and more news about Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, this game looks better and better. It's like new Pokemon, new Ultra Beast, all legendary Pokemon, all the village. It's a massive, insane game. Like, everyone's loving it right now. I've been seeing more and more comments over the last couple months as well, like, hey, remember the guy that made that article? Man, he's probably feeling pretty silly right now. And this isn't why you jump to toxicity. Like, I hate the way this community just gets so negative so quick. June 6th, didn't even give any chance for the trailer to breathe. Nah, the game's gonna be terrible. So let's go and see how bad it is for him. I actually haven't read through this list since I made the video, so this is gonna be pretty interesting. Well, there's no doubt some people who are excited about these games, the general response has been lukewarm at best. Considering all the speculation that went on for the next main Pokemon game, this announcement is a little disappointing to say the least. Many wanted something new on the Switch, and all that was shown off was an upgraded version for the last gen console. I mean, are you surprised, dude? Because the enhanced versions are on the same console, and it's just another version of the same game. I'll be the first to tell you that I've loved Pokemon since I was a kid. I begin to doubt that when you immediately just turn on the Pokemon Company for an okay announcement. It's time that something new hit the store shelves. There's much potential with this franchise. I feel like Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon are simply cookie-cutter games that will come out this holiday season. It's uninspired, and believe that those games will end up being quite bad. And here's why. Running on Sun and Moon's engine. I mean, so far from what we've seen, they're actually able to do some pretty good stuff with the Sun and Moon engine. The cutscenes look a lot better. The battle scenes, dude, I'm loving what we see from the battles so far. Like, I'm not that happy that the backgrounds didn't get changed, but the Pokemon battles look a little better, the cutscenes look a lot better, and then the overall gameplay, I mean, the graphics are solid. It seems like somehow they were able to take what was in Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was already the best that we had. So, I mean, upgrading that in the same console, you know, we're looking at XY, Omega Green Alpha Sapphire, and then going into Pokemon Sun and Moon. That's a crazy step up. And it seems like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon has been able to optimize it just a little more, which is pretty nice to see as well. So, I have the trailer up, and I also have some screenshots. Hopefully that's going to get me through the rest of this article, so I don't really remember anything. Still on the 3DS. I mean, okay, I'll give you that one, because I'm excited for a Nintendo Switch game, but at the same time, there's also like half the Pokemon community that doesn't own a Switch, and they're upset that the 2018 game has already been confirmed for the Switch. Like, see, making the 3DS arguments with the Pokemon games doesn't really get you anywhere, because by saying it's still on 3DS, you're going to upset a lot of people that wanted to stay on 3DS, because a lot of people are thinking that the Switch is going to kill Pokemon, even though it will give you upgrades in like many different ways. But I mean, what's so terrible about the Switch? But I still don't understand how that's going to make it terrible, because again, there should be no surprise that Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, the enhanced version, is going to be like Pokemon Sun and Moon in some ways. No new Pokemon! Oh! This is why I wanted to do the face cam. This is why I want to do the live reaction while reading this. Because he said there's going to be no new Pokemon. The day the first trailer came out back in June, without any understanding of what this game is going to be, he gave it that little credit. And this is why I don't really feel that he's a Pokemon fan, because it gives the Pokemon Company absolutely no credit to do something great with the next games. Like, these are already looking to be the best remake versions ever. There are several problems with Game Freak releasing enhanced versions of their main games. One of them is that there'll be no new Pokemon. Instead, I guarantee Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon will rely on bringing other Pokemon from past generations, justify the new adventure entirely. I mean, they're doing both. They're bringing back all the legendaries, they're expanding the Pokedex by another 100 Pokemon, and then we're getting new Ultra Beast, and a new Dusk Lycanroc form, and maybe even more from that. What they forget is that we have already met these characters and are familiar. So, you get to get a new story with that. Uninteresting story. Speaking of story, very seldom does Game Freak create interesting stories from Pokemon series. However, Pokemon Sun and Moon proved that they still had it in them. Hey, at least it said some good about the story. Those games, unfortunately traveling through the same region again, will only make it more difficult for them to create a unique story. However, they've done that with past games as well. Game Freak stated in their announcement Pokemon Ultra Sun will have a different story than their predecessors, but that doesn't mean that it will be good. Then what if we put a new Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch, we make the Pokemon, you know, Diamond Pearl remakes, we make it 8th generation like you said for points 14 and 15, and what if that story could still be bad? Because, I mean, like, Game Freak's just making a new story in a new region, so why not make a new story in the same region? And, yeah, like, look at this. We have, like, 4 storylines going on right now, because the the Trial Captain storyline's getting a change. The Aether Foundation story seems to actually be, like, shrunken down a bit, and now we have the Team Rocket, the Rainbow Rocket story, and the Ultra Foundation stuff. I'm trying to look for, like, relevant screenshots to prove my point. Yep, that's uninteresting. The Ultra Megalopolis, Necrozma stealing the light, and then also surfing through Ultra wormholes and catching multiple Ultra Bees like that. Totally uninteresting story. You know, they could not, it was impossible. It was impossible for Game Freak to revamp the Alola region that well. Not enough new content. Again, it's like you just thought that they were going to copy paste everything for Pokemon Sun and Moon, add in Solgaleo Lunala forms, and then say Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, done, and then just like walk away. Like, they did not give Game Freak any credit. Not enough new content. Well, actually, they're expanding the Festival Plaza. Like, yeah, okay, Festival Plaza, Pokepelago. Some people weren't really like super sold on that. I love Pokepelago. Not as big a fan of Festival Plaza, but I mean, we have the Battle Agency. So that's going to expand upon the Festival Plaza. Maybe they'll also, like, be a lot better with the Pokemon communication systems. We have Mantine Surf. We have the, and I know a lot of people aren't crazy about the Alola Photo Club, but still new content. We have all this Ultra Beast stuff. We have catching all the legendary Pokemon. We have more areas, and we still don't even know if there's a few other things that Game Freak is hiding at this point. So it's pretty much like, we just got double of Pokemon Sun and Moon and Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and that's not enough new content for this guy. Won't bring over Sun and Moon players. I mean, as we saw with like Joe Merritt tweeting it out a couple days ago when we got the sales figures, like half the player base from the original games don't go over anyways. And I mean, that's just going to happen whether it's Emerald, Platinum, Black and White 2, if there was a Z version, or even Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire didn't have as much as X and Y, even though it was like the remake game and stuff like that. So that's to be expected. And how do you know it won't bring over Sun and Moon players? Because some people, they were just not happy with Sun and Moon. So if Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon promises them a better experience, they're going to want to go over from that. Or also, people, they might have abstained from Pokemon Sun and Moon. They were still saving up for 3DS. They didn't hear that it was that great of a game. But then they see Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is better. So we actually might get to convert people that weren't interested in the 7th generation into 7th generation fans just from the sheer volume of awesome stuff that's going on in these new games. Like, look at that. Look at that, how hype. Also, another thing I like is like a lot of the promotional material is more saturated. There's a bit more life in this game than Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which is kind of neat, kind of interesting right there. All right, what else we got? What do we got for number 9? Roaming Legendaries. I don't even remember what he said about this point. Well, the easiest ways to bring in legendary Pokemon from past games, let them run around new region. Heart Gold, Soul Silver did it. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire did it. There's no reason to believe that Ultra Sun and Moon won't do it either. Granted, they could instead decide to program them into the game, have bigger impact on the story or post-game content. You don't say. However, knowing Game Freak, that likely won't be the case. You don't know Game Freak. No one knows Game Freak. They didn't give us a Z version. They gave us Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon 2. Game Freak likes to keep us on our toes, and that's why you can't really know Game Freak. Roaming Legendaries are fun and all, but it's easy to know that there won't be too many of them, except for all of them. Only new forms until we got the new Ultra Beast. Where are you, my new Ultra Beast? There we go. Only forms, guys. We're only getting new forms. I mean, even that, like, Dusk Lycanroc is like a new Pokemon. You know, I'm one of those people that's in the camp that a new form, if significant enough, can be a new Pokemon, and I'm feeling that. Also, like, does he say that for the Alola Pokemon as well? Ever since Pokemon Platinum, Game Freak has gotten into the habit of justifying enhanced version of the main games by creating a new form for the legendary Pokemon question. Giratina went through it, Kyurem, Groudon, Kyogre. I mean, come on, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire justified that. They also did it with Rayquaza, because we got the Mega Rayquaza and more Megas and stuff. So got another new guinea pigs. Okay, even though it's like an amazing story behind it, just a guinea pig. A couple of potential problems. Point, there being no new legendary Pokemon. Just expect us to get excited about catching enhanced versions of the same Pokemon we already have. Second's new forms, kind of lazy. And will further motivate. No partner Pokemon. I mean, are you going to just say that every Pokemon game that is not Heart Gold and Soul Silver is terrible then? Also Yellow version, because we got Pikachu running around with us. Like, I don't understand this. I don't understand why people are so hung up that's like, if Pokemon don't follow you, the new game is going to be bad. Just, Heart Gold, Soul Silver are special. They're unique, incredible Pokemon experiences, and I think that's one of the things that make it that way, because that is a feature you can only get with these games. I'm okay if it never comes to a new Pokemon game, because we've already had it. Even though it is something that kind of needs to be staple, because what made Heart Gold, Soul Silver so good is because that brought your Pokemon experience together. But I'm not going to hate on a Pokemon game for not doing it in the future. Also, we don't know how it's going to go on for the Switch, because when we upgrade 3DS, it might be possible. This is yet to be confirmed or denied. Strong believe that Game Freak will not bring back partner Pokemon in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So apparently the game's going to be terrible. Doesn't bode well for the future. I didn't know that Platinum version meant that Pokemon was dead. I didn't know that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire meant that Pokemon was dead. I didn't know that this formula meant that Pokemon was dead. It's not like Pokemon Sun and Moon sold more copies than Pokemon X and Y in a shorter amount of time, except that's what happened. So the franchise is growing with their formula, but doesn't bode well for the future. In regards to this Pokemon Direct, it can mean two things. Game Freak is getting their smaller announcements out of the way so they can bring the big guns for E3 this year. Their E3 announcement was 2018 Pokemon, pretty much. It seems that Nintendo has been going that route. Okay. They simply aren't creating any new ideas. They're instead focusing on bringing old content back and reselling it. I mean, apparently these aren't new ideas. And also, like, bringing back old content, bringing back old content, reselling it? Bringing back old content and reselling it. Okay, sure. You know, I mean, we already went through the stupidity, but I'm also getting triggered, like, I'm getting double triggered right now because, like, yeah, I remember this being pretty stupid, and now it's like double stupid because it's being disproven, and now it's like, oh yeah, that's right. The article was very contradictory as well. Defied expectations negatively. I mean, I already did a video about it. I absolutely do not believe at all that the Pokemon Stars rumor hurt Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, because we were either getting a Switch game or we weren't. People were mad about both outcomes. We were either getting a Pokemon Sun and Moon remake or we weren't. People were mad about both outcomes. You can't please everyone. So really, it's just people, like, subjectively getting upset about stuff that doesn't really matter. And, like, what does Pokemon Stars promise us? We had a rumor. And I mean, that's like, okay, the Pokemon Stars rumor, 20 new Pokemon in this game, that got debunked or whatever, you know, that ended up not happening. And because of that, people are mad at Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. That means I guess we should be mad for every rumor. Remember when there was the 100 new Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and then a week later there was 100 more new Pokemon in the Pokedex leak? I mean, 99% of the Pokemon Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon rumors have been fake, so I guess because of that, it's just like 99% terrible for Pokemon. For every Pokemon game is just garbage, because not all the rumors come true, and we believe the rumors too much. The defying of expectations almost always leads to a negative response, and never has this been more evident than with the recent Pokemon Direct. There were so many rumors about Pokemon Stars. It's just a name. It was codenamed Stars. The game wasn't even called Stars. People just like kind of hyped themselves up because of, look at this, via PokeJungle.net. So it's like, yeah, people were like, oh, Pokemon Stars. It's Stars. It's Stars. PokeTubers, media outlets, they were just being irresponsible about the name, and because of that, people got their hopes up over a name. Apparently, they like the name Stars more than Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, so the game's worse just off of the name. Judging a book by its cover, literally. As a matter of fact, just about everyone was reporting this game could be in production. As we all know, that will not be the case. It's a name! What poured more salt in the wound is that while Game Freak opened up talking about the Switch, announced Pokemon Tournament be the first Switch game. So, you are really upset it's not on the Switch. Holiday release. Again, every Pokemon game for the last couple years is terrible because holiday release, I guess. While having a holiday release in itself is not a bad thing, could serve more harm to Game Freak rather than help them this time around. Nintendo fans are craving new Switch games at the moment. I mean, Mario Odyssey, yeah, like, okay, there's a lot of excitement for new games, especially Mario Odyssey. I mean, Mario Odyssey came out in October. People are going to have a couple of weeks to crush that game. Then they go into Pokemon Sun and Moon. Also, that's on the Switch. So people that don't have the Switch, they skip Mario Odyssey, go into Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, because that's going to be, like, the last, I don't know if it's going to be the last great game for Nintendo 3DS, because they did have the, like, Nintendo Direct a month and a half ago, where they talked about, like, a new 3DS lineup. You know, I really like that they have the, Mario Party Greatest Hits. There's like Minecraft on the 3DS now. There's some other 3DS games that are coming that people are pretty excited for. But I mean, this seems like the last hurrah. This seems like the last best game that's gonna be on the 3DS. So I mean, pushing it to the limits as the 3DS is on its way out, I don't see how that's a bad thing. Mario Odyssey will be releasing in November. Damn. This guy just knew it. This guy just knew it. Marketing for kids. I don't even know. I'm like, where am I going to say you know for kids? Like, these are epic trailers. This isn't like a kid's dumbed down TV show that you find on Disney at like 8 in the morning or something. You know, this seems serious. This seems legit. This is action. You know, there's some cool stuff. This seems about as this seems like a normal Pokemon game. It doesn't seem like it's dumbed down for kids for any kind of reason. We got some cool story stuff. We have some deep undertones. It's gonna be nice. I mean, even with the Rainbow Rocket, like, I don't even remember where that is. Like, dude, we got all the bad guys coming back. I mean, in theory, they're technically pulling the villains from worlds in which they were so successful that many people were killed, and they also have the legendary Pokemon. Like I said, like, the undertones of the storyline actually get pretty intense. I mean, not gonna say it's adult, but Pokemon's never quite been super adult. But I mean, at the same time, like, it's not for kids. So what do you mean for kids? Mostly referring to the first trailer shown off in the direct this morning. Trailer itself was Pokken. Ah, yes. Because the Pokken marketing was kids playing Pokken, then that means the Ultra Sun Ultra Moon is going to be for kids, and overly for kids. No secret, Pokemon games are extremely popular among young children, even though, you know, with all the legendary Pokemon coming back, with all the other things we've seen, there's no shortage of shoutouts to older Pokemon fans, like Alolan Pokemon, anything like that. So, yeah. Doesn't intend to make waves amongst the adult crowd. Omega Ruby Alpha, I was about to say, I think I already talked about this the last time I reviewed the trailer. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. For one of the interviews there, the question was like, how do you adapt to older Pokemon fans? How do you make these games for older players? And Game Freak addressed this, and they also say that they put in features for the older Pokemon players. I mean, like, point number 3 was already debunked before we even knew about all this stuff, before the article was even written. Riding off the Pokemon Sun and Moon hype. Trust me, there is no Pokemon Sun and Moon hype. The reason why people are not happy with Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, or they were not happy with the announcement, is because they were disappointed by Pokemon Sun and Moon. So this is to make that better. So there's not help. Nothing new, guys. Nothing new. I mean, we've already talked about how much new is in this nothing new. But again, like, okay, so you've been a long-time Pokemon fan and you say you love Pokemon, but then you criticize the formula. I don't think you can call yourself a Pokemon fan if you criticize the Pokemon formula when, again, it works. We can still get excited about these games. I'm about it. I was excited about Pokemon Sun and Moon. Excited about Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Excited about Pokemon X and Y. Excited about Pokemon Ultra Sun Ultra Moon. It's all the same thing. It's a new generation in a new region. Dude, X and Y was great. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. It's a remake game. That was great. Pokemon Sun and Moon, new region. That was great. Pokemon Ultra Sun Ultra Moon. I am so hyped. Like, news season? News for Ultra Sun Ultra Moon, Sun and Moon, and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire has made me feel more alive as a Pokemon fan than ever, because I'm actually, like, on the inside. I'm waiting to see where these games go. That I play the games, and the games are still good. So what do you mean nothing new? Like, again, this is just going back to, like, okay, so is there no original ideas left in gaming then? So I mean, except for like PUBG recently, everything is a revamp made by a different company of some other game, and we still love it because it can be better. It can be good. Just expanding upon the past and making it better. Series has been around for about 2 decades now. People play since the beginning or beginning to know the series is turning into other franchises. I've never been like Pokemon's Call of Duty, because Call of Duty, they rehash to a stale level. Pokemon hasn't done that because they bring in so much new stuff and they update it. I think that's the biggest thing. They keep it updated. And then, yeah. The games are still well polished, but there isn't any imagination put in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. No imagination, guys. Absolutely no imagination put into these games. It's the death of Pokemon, guys. It's the death of imagination. It's the death of creativity. What a shame. So, guys, enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.